Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I think we wait for a few more minutes because wait for the rest of the students to come in.
Aku tadi ngawan. Hah?
We haven't started yet, brother. Waiting for the rest of the batch. I think your batch around 200, so around 90 have joined. Maybe around 9:40 we start, inshallah. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Sister Shima. All right, I think we can start. Just a short briefing with you today. Let's begin our session with Umul Kitab Al-Fatihah. All right, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for all of you for joining our session this morning. Inshallah, I am Dr. Amir. I'm the Deputy Dean for Academic and Internationalization from KICT. I would like to share with you today your journey later on when you join KICT. So with me is my officer, Sister Narita Bukhari. I think she's online. So if you have any questions to ask after I've given you the briefing, then we are open to question and answers to everyone. So without further ado, let's just start our session today. All right. So again, I would like to congratulate you on taking our foundation. Inshallah, we hope you will be joining us soon. And as you know, at KICT, we have two programs. One is the Bachelor in Information Technology, or BIT. The other one is Bachelor in Computer Science, or BCS. Okay. So later on, when you come to KICT proper, you will choose either one of these two bachelor programs. Okay, so we'll talk more about how is the entry and how we actually choose a student based on your first choice and second choice, because not everyone who chooses BCS as the first choice will get to go to BCS. I'll talk to you about that later. But right now, let's talk about what is KICT and who we are. This actually is a picture of all of us. There's around 80 lecturers at KICT who is teaching computer science and IT. Okay, so this picture was taken recently. And the building you see behind, that is the KICT building. Alhamdulillah, is one of the newest building in Gombak campus. So you can consider quite lucky to actually come and study at a new buildings. It's nicer than all of the other buildings at the Gombak campus. Okay, so at the KICT, we have actually four departments. All right, one is the Department of Information System, which is the one that is offering the BIT. The other one is the Department of Computer Science, offering the Bachelor in Computer Science. Department of Library and Information Science is only offering postgraduate courses. And we have Center for IT Advancement, or CITA, also offering only postgraduate courses. Right, I'll list down the courses and let you know what we have here at KST. Okay, for undergraduate, for your purpose, you're coming from CFS, you can choose only either of these two programs, either Bachelor in Information Technology or Bachelor in Computer Science. If you finish later on and you want to continue your studies to a higher level, to master's level, then you can consider to come to one of our postgraduate programs. We have Master in IT, Master in Computer Science and IT. We have Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science and IT. We have Masters in Library and Information Science and Doctor in Library and Information Science. That's the department that I was talking about, the Department of Library and Information Science. They offer these two programs. And we have from CITA, the Master in Protective Security Management and Master in Business Intelligence and Analytics. So these are your pathways once you finish the degree at KICT. But of course, coming from CFS, you will go into the degree programs. And then after that, if you are happy with studying at KICT, maybe you want to consider to continue and further your studies. Okay, so these are our team. Our dean is Professor Emeritus Datuk Tengku Muhammad Tengku Sembuk. Then our Deputy Director, Madam Sabira. Myself, I'm Dr. Amir, Deputy Dean for Academic. We have Professor Datin Dr. Roslina, the Deputy Dean for Postgraduate and Research. And we have Dr. Muhammad Khairul Azmi, Deputy Dean for Student Development and Community Engagement. When you come as an undergraduate later on, you will mostly be dealing with either myself or Dr. Azmi, because Prof. Datin Roslina is mostly looking at the postgraduate programs and postgraduate students. So if you have any queries regarding academic, then you can come and look for me or Sister Narita, that's our officer for academic. Or if you have any other activities that's related to student and community engagement, you can see Dr. Muhammad Khairul Azmi. Okay. Under us, we have our team, right? And also, depending on the program you take, these are the head of departments of each of our programs. Dr. Zaranto Shima is the head of department for information systems. Dr. Azlin is head of department for computer science. Dr. Sharifah Nur Amira, head of department for library. Dr. Hayani is head of department for SITA. And Dr. Azwani is head of research. So mostly you will be dealing with either Dr. Azlin or Dr. Shima. If you take bachelor in IT or bachelor in information technology, then you will be dealing with Dr. Shima. If you take bachelor in computer science, then you will mostly be dealing with Dr. Azlin. Okay. Of course, this is when there are some advanced conditions or things that need further escalation. Most of the time, you will just be dealing with the department admins. Okay. All right. So these are the officers under myself and Dr. Azmi. As I mentioned, the two of us will be taking care of undergraduate students most of the time. Under me, as I mentioned, Madam Narita is our assistant director or the officer for academic, and Brother Mio is our admin staff. So later on, if you have issues with ad drop or you need to exceed credit limit or resets and all other academic matters, you go to Brother Mio. If you have things related to if you want to take study leave of absence, all right, or if you want to do some student activities, then you go to Dr. Azmi's office, and you can either go to the officer Sister Farhana or the admin Sister Sharifah Adibah. Okay. All right. So some changes of the study plan from your seniors. If you have seniors or brothers before in KICT, we have actually did a curriculum review in 2024. So previously the program is 4 years or 132 credit hours, right? So 4 years to finish the program. When we did the curriculum review, we reduced it to 3.5 years. So you only need to fulfill 125 credit hours. So out of those credit hours that you need to fulfill, there are 20 Unicore. That also might change soon because the university is revising the Unicore. So 20 credit hours coming from Unicore, or this as people call in some universities khusus wajib, and then 21 credit hours coming from computing courses. So these are common across the two departments. That means it doesn't matter whether you are BIT or BCS, the core computing courses is taken by both programs. So that is 21 credit hours or 7 subjects, 7 courses. Then we have the discipline core. So this one is usually is only unique to your program. That means if you are in BIT, you have your own set of discipline core. If you are in BCS, you have your own set of discipline core. So that is based on your study plan. So I will share the study plan later. All right. For field elective, this is the one that we call it field elective because this is the one that you choose to specialize in your degree. We have for each of the programs, BIT and BCS, 5 different types of specialization, which I will also share later. And we also have to, in order to specialize in one field or to have a so-called concentration in that particular field, you have to take at least 4 out of 6 of your field elective in that particular field. All right. Then you have free elective. Free elective is basically courses that you take from other kuliah. This is the university direction. We don't want IT students to just know IT. So out of your degree, you will be taking 12 credits of free elective. That means you can take from other kuliah. So you can take from kuliah of economics, maybe you want to take marketing, you can go to IRKHS, you want to take Usuluddin, or you can go to law and take a law subject. So this will be counted as part of your graduation credit as a free elective. When you come in later, we will share with you the list of free electives that is available for you to take. Okay, so and then in the third year, you will be doing your final year project. So this is divided into one FYP1 and FYP2. So that is during the fifth and sixth semester of your study. During semester 7, which is the last 6 months, you will be doing industrial attachment. That means you'll be going out to industry and doing practical training. Okay. So that constitutes of 123 credit hours. The other 2 credit is for you to fulfill the Bahasa Melayu language requirements of the university. So I will show you the study plan after this, and then I'll actually give the details on what those 2 credits are. Okay. Yeah, so these are the 2 credits. If you are a Malay student or a Malaysian student, then you have to take LMBD 2204, Bahasa Melayu Kerjaya. if you are an international student, you have to take LMBD 1131 and 1132, Bahasa Melayu 1 and 2. All right. Uh, I think most of the CFS students are from Malaysia, but if there are some international students here, then you take these two courses in separate semesters. So your study plan has been arranged so it can accommodate two instead of one course because one is the prerequisite of the other. So you take it in two separate semesters. Okay, so for our KST bachelor programs, we start off by dividing into four distinct phases. So phase one, your year one, here you are basically taking your core, the core courses, as well as your discipline core and some free elective. So we started to take free elective early because some free elective you can already take it in the first year. So you don't have to wait until the end to find your free elective. Then you have a problem if there are no places at the other kuliah, then you cannot graduate. Okay, so plan your studies early. Try to start to taking the free elective in the second semester. I would not advise taking the free elective in the first semester because you just came in, you want to familiarize with all the IT courses first before you go to take your free elective. Okay. In the second year, you go to or still continue to do your core and the discipline core. And by the second year, we start to offer you all the field elective. So now you can plan what kind of concentration or specialization you want to do. So you take your field elective based on that. And again, continue to take your free elective. So free elective is open throughout your first, second, and third year. You can plan when is the best time for you to take them. Okay. Saw some messages. Okay, I attend. Thank you, Madam Narita. Okay, so now in year three, you will have your core discipline, still a few more because those are the advanced core discipline courses. Then you have your field elective, so continue to take your field elective to do your concentrations. And then you have your free elective. So this is to finish off your 12 credits of free elective. So you have 3 years to do it. Maybe you can plan one in the first year, one in the second year, and two more in the final year of your study. Or you can take two in the second year, depending on your workload and how you can manage. All right, because free elective is out of control of the kuliah. Free elective is in the control of the kuliah that is offering the free elective. So if they have enough spaces, you can take it. Otherwise, you have to wait. So this is like a bit of a competitive thing. So you have to try to take it as early as possible. Okay. And then in the final year or year three, after year three, you finish all of your taught courses, you will be going for your industrial attachment and then finish the degree. Okay. So when you come into KICT as a first year, first semester student, these are the courses that we recommend you to take based on our study plan. All right. So in year one, semester one, you take first elements of programming. That is a course in Java. Okay. Then you take introduction to computer organization. Maybe some of this you have learned a bit of it in CFS. You take discrete structures. Okay, so this is basically mathematics for computing. So you take discrete math here together with probability inside discrete structures. Then you take database programming. So we assume that students coming from foundation already have some knowledge in databases. So when you come into year one, you straight away take database programming. Okay. And then we recommend you take a few university courses like 1301 UNGS, Basic Philosophy and Islamic Worldview. And you start to do your tilawah, your usrah, as well as Sustainable Development Principles and Practices is also another university core courses. Okay. As you know, throughout your studies, you have to do some skills, right? These are the so-called credited co-curriculums, right? So skill courses are offered by the CCC or accredited co-curriculum center. So this can be things like cooking, sewing, or some skill courses that involves um, skills other than ICT. Okay. All right. So remember, I told you the Bahasa Melayu International, Bahasa Melayu 1. So if you're an international student, this is where you take your Bahasa Melayu 1. All right. So when you come to enroll in the first semester, this is your study plan. You should try to get into all of these courses when you come to KICT in September, October this year. Okay. All right. So before I go to assessment of student learning, I'm just going to switch over and share with you the study plan for both the BIT and BCS. Okay. So you can see what we actually offer to the students coming to KST. Just give me a moment. Okay, so first let's look at, let me try and make this a bit bigger if possible. Okay, so let's first look at BIT, right? So in BIT, this is what I mentioned, the structure, basic structure is the same for both BIT and BCS, right? So you can see the study plan, right? Everyone can?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, so remember I categorized the courses, university courses. So these are the 20 credits of the university courses, and they include the 2 credits of Bahasa Melayu for local and international. So this is the 2 credit for international, and Bahasa Melayu Kerjaya is the 2 credit for local. All right. Now, the core courses that you take as a KICT student, so all KICT students will be taking these courses: database programming, system analysis and design, ICT and Islam, elements of programming, introduction to computer organization, computer networking, as well as operating system. Then, by the time you go to second semester, first year, second semester, you started taking courses that is unique to your own program. If you're in BIT, these are the courses that you take: OI, organizational informatics, user experience design, management of information security, network infrastructure management, technopreneurship, web application development, cloud computing, mobile application, cyber law and ethics, object-oriented programming, discrete structures, and intelligent systems. So all of this, as a BIT students, you need to complete in order to get your BIT degree. Okay. Then we have the field elective. So this is where you choose what kind of specialization you are interested in if you are a BIT student. All right. So as a BIT students, you can choose from these five different specialization or concentration. Okay, so you have here the first one is cybersecurity. So if you are someone who is interested in cybersecurity, the specialization or concentration in cybersecurity is offered under BIT, right? So if you go to cybersecurity, you will be studying cyber risk management, business control and disaster recovery, IT control and audit, web application security, information security, critical infrastructure, as well as incident handling and response. Okay, so remember I said earlier, in order to appear on your transcript, let's say you say Bachelor in Information Technology, you want it to appear concentration cybersecurity. So you have to take the first 4 course codes here. These are called the core courses for this concentration, right? So if you want cybersecurity to appear in your transcript, it doesn't appear in the scroll, but it appears in the transcript. So you have to take cyber risk, business continuity, IT control and audit, and web application security. Then your transcript will show Bachelor in Information Technology, concentration cybersecurity. Okay, so that is how you get your concentration in a particular specialization within the BIT. Now, what are the other things that they have here? The second one they have is the cloud computing as system paradigm. So this is if you're interested in cloud computing, then you can take this concentration. So you learn about cloud computing services, information resource management, ERP system, blockchain, knowledge management, and Internet of Things. Okay, so all of this is part of their cloud computing and system paradigm concentration. If you like things related to multimedia, then they have a concentration called innovative digital experience. So here we look at content design, applied motion design, audio and video communication design, visual communication technology, CGI, content creation, and application game design. So if you are into gaming or something like that, you can go for IDEX or innovative digital experience. If you want to go into data analytics, then they have a specialization called data analytics. And here the courses are related to analytics, right? So mostly in business analytics, for example, business intelligence, data mining, business data analytics, visualization, data visualization, and AI in business, right? So this is like an applied AI course. Or if you like to do business, then you can go for the concentration on digital transformation. So here we learn about digital commerce platform, agile project management, digital and sejahtera society, customer journey centered digital marketing, resources and strategy and governance. So basically, if you want to become a technopreneur or technopreneurship is your thing, then digital transformation is something that you can look at. So these are the five concentration or specialization that is offered under BIT. All right, I can share the study plan with CFS later, so they can pass it over to you. You can have a look. So this is a study plan that we draw up when you come to study at KCT. So if you follow this study plan, inshallah, you will graduate on time within 3.5 years. Okay, so just make sure you take the courses according to what we have planned out for you. Of course, can take it in an order that you prefer, but then we cannot guarantee that you may get the 3.5 years graduation, because sometimes if you didn't take a course this semester, next semester is already going to be super full, right? So then you're not able to take the same course again. So try to follow your study plan as closely as possible. Okay. So that is for BIT. Now let's look at BCS. Right. So if you're taking Bachelor in Computer Science, so it's still the same for the Unicore, because Unicore is the same for both sides. And core computing courses is the same for both sides. You can see these are the same courses taken by BIT students. And then once you are in year 1, SEM 2, some courses are the same, but some are different, right? So object-oriented programming, discrete structures are still taken by both sides. But here in BCS, you are taking digital and embedded system, because we want to work more towards the computer science side of knowledge, right? So remember just now they have enterprise network management. So we have enterprise networks. For them, it's more towards the management side. For us, we look at the infrastructure side. Okay. And then we have data structures and algorithms. This is unique to BCS. We have intelligence system taken by both sides, because we want all KST students to know AI. So intelligence systems is basically the introductory course to artificial intelligence. Okay. And then for CS, you have computer architecture and assembly language. You start to take more towards the hardcore computer science concepts. We also study software engineering in CS, all right? And then cross-platform software development. So cross-platform software development is taking mobile apps as well as web development into one course. So with this course, you can learn to write programs that can be deployed both on the mobile as well as on the web. Okay. Then we have computation and complexity. This is basically complexity theory. So as a computer science student, you'll be learning what are the theories behind why some algorithms execute faster, why are some are slower based on their complexity. So that's why going to computer science, we have to really take a look at your SPM, additional mathematics grade, because the additional mathematics grade is really important for you to understand the theories inside computer science, right? Then we have parallel and distributed systems. We have user experience design. So user experience design is taken by both sides. Parallel and distributed system is talking about how you can spread your computing if you have a very hard problem that one computer cannot solve. So it can be run by multiple devices. Okay. All right. So the same structure: field elective, final year project, industrial attachment, and free elective. Okay. Now I want to show you the concentration that we have in BCS. Okay, so in BCS, we have also 5 concentration. The first one is application development engineering. So this is basically software engineering specialization or concentration. You concentrate in software engineering, where you take project management, requirements engineering, software design and architecture, software testing, software quality assurance, software maintenance and configuration management, and blockchain is also here. So blockchain can be taken by both BIT or BCS students. Then we have data engineering. So this is basically data science, right? Remember, we have business analytics or data analytics in BIT. For here, we move more towards the science of the data analytics. So data science, here we take statistics for data science itself, and big data analytics on the other side is data mining. So here we work more towards big data. Then we have pattern mining in large data sets, brain computational analytics, is something interesting. So working with brain data. And we have data visualization, which is both if you are a data engineer or a data scientist and a data analyst, right? Or data analytics, all of you need to know the knowledge on visualizing the data or communicating your results to your stakeholders. So data visualization is on both sides. Again, it's the same if you want to say that your major or your concentration is in this particular field, application development engineering, then you have to take the 4 core courses. That means that your transcript will say Bachelor in Computer Science, concentration application development engineering. Okay. Otherwise, your transcript will just say Bachelor in Computer Science. All right. So what are the other three that we have? One is artificial intelligence. So we go deep into AI. Remember, we have intelligence systems here, where is just introduction to AI concepts and so on. So if you want to know more or you want to concentrate in AI, then our AI concentration will give you more knowledge on AI, deep into AI field. For example, if you go for artificial intelligence concentration, this specialization will actually make you take machine learning, natural language processing, which deals with natural language. ChatGPT, what you use today is based on natural language, image processing, and computer vision. Okay. Then we have neural networks and deep learning. So this is looking at artificial neural networks, which is the backbone of most of the AI systems that we have today. Um, if you should know, ChatGPT itself is built on a deep neural network architecture. All right. So neural network is very important concepts in artificial intelligence. Then we have bio-inspired computing. So this is talking about concepts of computing that is coming from nature. How do we apply things like bee swarming, or how does ant look for food? So all of those concepts from nature, they can be applied to make artificial intelligence systems. All right. And the last one is generative AI fundamentals. So generative AI fundamentals is where you learn about how ChatGPT, large language model, all of these generative AI are created. So we teach you how the science behind the generative AI, and then you can actually, I think, by the end of the course, you can understand how it works, so you can plan if you want to build your own generative AI in your careers. So there is the artificial intelligence concentration. Okay. If you don't like artificial intelligence, not everybody likes artificial intelligence, right? Just like not everybody likes chocolate cake. All right, so you can go for networking. If you are more towards a networking person, you like to know how computer communicates with each other, how you manage infrastructure. So you go for network and data communications. So in network and data communications, you take network and system administration, advanced routing and switching. We teach you about cloud infrastructure, about network security, about Internet of Things or IoT applications, as well as about wireless networks. Okay, so all of this is basically knowledge on the network architecture as well as how they are being managed and how network security works. So if you are into this kind of thing, then you can take this concentration, network and data communications, right? So it depends. When you come into KICT, there's diverse types of career you can go, whether you want to concentrate on AI or you want to concentrate on network or cybersecurity. Okay. So if you remember in BIT, you have cybersecurity. Here in BCS, we have also something like that, but it is actually security in digital systems. So we look towards the back end of things. How do you manage your infrastructure in terms of the algorithms, in terms of the systems that protects, right? So here our courses includes privacy engineering, malware analysis, penetration testing, right? So we want to fortify the security of your organization, cyber physical system security, digital forensics and incident response, as well as cryptography. So we look towards more the computer science side of cybersecurity, right? Thank you very much. So welcome to our Dean, Tengku Muhammad, Tengku Sembuk. Welcome, Prof. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Ya, ya. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Yeah. So thank you, the Tame.
Okay. So we are just about to finish showing the study plan, Prof. And I'm just about to talk about the field active, inshallah. Then we can open for question and answers.
Yeah.
So can I continue, bro?
Okay, please do. Yeah, yeah,
Thank you for.
yeah.
Okay, so applied cryptography is something that you take if you want to know about knowledge behind cybersecurity, because in every algorithms or in every system that protects our cybersecurity, there is an algorithm that is actually encrypting the data and making sure that no one can understand it. So this is the applied cryptography here. Okay, right? So the study plan again, same like BIT. If you follow the study plan that we give you, then inshallah you will finish within the 3.5 years time. Okay. Now, before I go jump back to the slides, I just want to finish off on one more thing. Remember, I told you that you have to take 12 credits of free elective. So these are the free elective that is offered by the other kuliahs. Okay, so you have to take 4 courses from this list. You can choose the one that you are most interested in. For example, in law, they are offering all of this as the free elective to other kuliah to take. So if you are computer science or BIT students and you are interested in, for example, family law, okay, or criminal law, you can take this as your free elective. It's basically to give you an exposure of what the knowledge is. And as an IT or CS students, you can apply your CS or IT knowledge to law and so on. Right? So you have offering from the Kuliah of Law, like for example, the Malaysian legal system, and also from INHAT. This is Institute for Halal Research and Training. All right, so they offer courses like halal industry ecosystem, halal consumerism. Okay, and we have offerings from the Kuliah of Language or KLM. This is in Pago. All right, persuasive speech. Maybe you are interested in that. From Kuliah of Education, they gave us courses like historical philosophical foundations of Malaysian education, introduction to literature, or if you want to become an Arabic teacher, methods of teaching Arabic. From Kuliah of Allied Health Science, if you want to do if you are concentrating in AI and you want to do AI in health, right? In health. So you can learn knowledge about things like microbiology, parasitology, right? Human molecular genetics. So the possibility is there. You can learn everything other than IT from these other kuliah. Okay. So Kuliah of Engineering offers a few as well. Solid waste, civil engineering. If you want to, if you are more interested in electronic circuits, they offer electronic circuits, electronics, as well as programming for engineers. Okay, rapid prototyping. This is from their mechanical engineering. So you have statics, automotive engineering, if you like cars. Okay, mechatronics, robotics. All right, and from Kuliah of Science, you can take chemistry, right? If you're not already taking too much chemistry from school days, okay? So they also offer things like environmental science, nuclear physics, quite interesting. If you want to take nuclear physics as your free elective, then you can become a computer scientist or an IT person with knowledge in nuclear physics, okay? So all of this list is available. Like I said, if you are more interested in marketing or business, then you can take some business courses from the Kuliah of Economics, right? Like decision science, organizational behavior, quality management. So all of those you can take from Kuliah in Economics. Okay. All right. So a lot of free elective for you to take. It's just that it depends on your own preferences. Okay. So let me just switch back to the slides and we can finish up and open for Q&A. Okay. So now we look at one of the important things when you come in later on in the first year. We will remind you again during the ta'aruf later on. But no, this is important to know that KICT is a kuliah that subscribe to the must pass rule. So that means you have to pass both your final and continuous assessment. All right. So if your CAM is good, but you fail your final, you will fail the course. If your final is good, but you didn't do well in the CAM, you will still fail the course. So you need to pass both, which means that you must achieve at least 35% of marks in both assessments. So if your CAM is 60 marks, right, you need to get 35% of 60 in CAM minimum, and you need to get 35% of 40 in final because your final is 40 marks, right? Minimal. So if you combine those two, but still you get less than the university threshold of 50%, you still fail. But if you get more than 35% for both, and you combine both and it reach more than 50% for the course, then you will be considered to pass the course. So if the cumulative marks percentage of both continuous and final assessment is less than 50%, you still fail. But if the cumulative is more than 50%, you pass. Okay. So simple. We will do some math of this when you come to Ta'aruf in October, inshallah. Okay. Transfer of credits, I don't think it applies to you. It mostly applies for students coming from diploma or coming from other universities. All right. So these are the important things. In each semester, your minimum credit hours is 12, maximum credit hours is 20. So you cannot exceed 20 hours without permission from the kuliah. So that means you have to make an appeal, and then we will get permission from the Dean of the Center of Studies. We usually bring it to a meeting to discuss. Okay. In terms of getting the Dean list, you have to get a CGPA of at least 3.5, then you can get the Dean list. Of course, if you take less than 12 credit hours, then you're not eligible to get the Dean list. If you just take 2 courses, then you get 3.5 CGPA, you still don't get the Dean list. You have to take above 12 in order to qualify for the Dean list. All right. If you miss 10% of your classes, then you'll be given a warning letter. If you miss 20% of your classes, then you'll be barred from taking the final exam. So be careful if your attendance when you come to KICT. I think this applies to most of the kuliahs in IAUM. Okay, so be alert. Pre-registration must be done online. If you cannot get into a certain section or you feel that the course that you're supposed to take is not open, then you can do some reservation through the reserve list. If you want to reserve your place in a certain section, try to put your name in the reserve list and the department will process accordingly. If let's say a course that you need to take is not open and you feel that the kuliah should open that course, then you can petition for the course. Okay. If you need any help, always meet with the academic advisor, the FYP coordinator, and IA coordinators as soon as possible, right? Most of the time before you go to final year project or industrial attachment, you will be just taking advices from the department academic advisor. So we have 2 for each department. Okay, we will introduce them to you when you come in October. Okay. Now, let's say you came in as a BIT student and after 1 semester, you decided you want to try to apply for BCS. Okay, so you can actually try to apply provided that you meet the requirements. So in order to come from BIT to enter into BCS, you need to get 2 courses, discrete structures as well as elements of programming. You need to get B and above. Right, so B plus is okay, B minus is not okay. So you need to get B and above in order for you to enter BCS if you are enrolled in BIT. Okay. On the other hand, if you come after 1 semester, you think that, okay, I feel that CS or computer science is too heavy for me and I want to go to BIT, you also can try to appeal and then we will try to process your appeal. If successful, you can just go straight to BIT. There's no requirements for you to change from BCS to BIT, right? Now, about the concentration specialization, by the time you start to take your specialization courses, all right, or the field elective that I mentioned just now, you start to plan which one you want to take, which one you want to appear in your transcript as your concentration, right? So those four core courses for each concentration will determine what will appear on your transcript. If you did not choose any of the concentration, you want just to take mix and match everything, it doesn't matter. You still get bachelor in IT or bachelor in CS, just there's no concentration written on your transcript, so it's fine. Sometimes that can be an advantage. So you can apply to many more jobs. If you concentrate in one field, then you might want to narrow down your job applications to just that particular field. It is up to you. We can call it flexible education. This is what KICT would like to offer to everyone. Okay. So the one-stop center, first week of the semester, you can come to the counter and then if you need any help with add drop or adjustment or any special case, let's say you need to take extra credits in that semester, just come to the counter and we'll try to help you as much as possible. Okay, so these are some of the dates when you come in. So in the first week, you can still do pre-registration using iMaklum. After the second week, we don't allow that anymore. We consider this the drop only period. So if you want to drop a course, you can still drop from week 2 to week 4. After week 4, it becomes late drop, so there will be penalty charges, right? Also, after week 2, where you cannot add by yourself through iMaklum, we call it manual add. So this one, you have to fill in a form. There might be some other charges for that as well. So try to do your courses in the first week. Make sure you get all the courses into all of your classes in the first week. Course withdrawal. After 5 weeks, if you want to withdraw from the course, you need to pay 300 ringgit. Sorry, excuse me. Okay. So that is within the fifth week to ninth week. If you want to withdraw from the course, that means it's after the drop period. If you forgot to drop the course, then you want to withdraw from that course. So you have to pay 300 ringgit. So make sure if you want to drop, you thought that you don't want to take that course yet, or it's too overwhelming for you in that semester, drop within week 2 to week 4. Okay. Now, if after the 10th week, you decided to drop the course or withdraw from that course, that means you have to pay the penalty of 500 ringgit. So all of this will happen just only if you do not plan your studies well at IUM. It's the same for all kuliah. This is a requirement that is given by Ahmad. Okay. All right, financial block. So if you cannot pay your fees, you may have a financial block. Therefore, you cannot register or access iMaklum. So this one you need to resolve with the IUM Finance because the kuliah have no control. Usually you can discuss with them. If you have a financial problem, you pay a little bit, they will open it up for you to register for a course and then they will block again. So, but usually they don't give you multiple times, right? So if you ask for this in one semester, the next semester when you ask for it, it's a bit more difficult for them to actually allow you to do that. Okay. All right. So one thing I want to advise is before the final semester, please try to complete all of your university required courses. Remember the UNTS courses, the language courses, your Tilawah and your Koku. So credited Koku, the skills courses. So do all of this before the final year, if possible, or the final semester, because when you're going out to do your industrial attachment, we do not allow you to do the courses together with industrial attachment because you'll be working at some company. Sometimes it's in PJ, in Shah Alam. So you cannot come back to the university and attend classes for all of these courses. So try to finish all of your university courses within the 6 semesters in Gombak. Okay, so once you go out for industrial attachment, you shouldn't have any courses with you. Right? So check your graduation audit before online registration every semester to see how many more credits you need to take and what you need to do in order to ensure that you can actually graduate on time. Okay. All right. So this is what I was mentioning just now. If you have a reasonable reason for certain things, then we can get approval from the dean for things like less than maximum academic load. Let's say you're having a difficult time that semester, a family member passed away, so you want less academic minimum. That means you want to take less than 12. Okay. Then you appeal, and then we will discuss in the meeting and get approval from the dean, Prof. Tengku just now. If you want to take more than the maximum load, let's say you are ambitious and in the previous semester your CGPA is 3.99, okay? And then in the next semester you say, I'm not a normal person, I am a genius. So I want to take 24 credit hours instead of 20. So you can apply for that, and then again we will bring to a meeting and get approval from the dean if you want to exceed maximum academic load, okay? Registration beyond the registration period. Okay, so if you miss the registration period, instead of being labeled as non-registered or NR, you can still appeal, and again we will try to get approval. Withdrawal beyond week 12. Remember, if you withdraw between week 10 and week 12, there is a penalty. After week 12, we usually do not allow for withdrawal for whatever reason, all right, unless you appeal, and again we have to get approval, special approval for this, right? Leave of absence, even for a short period within the semester, we usually don't encourage. For example, if you need to go to Umrah, right, during semester period, then we usually don't encourage you to do that. You can still apply, but approval is very difficult to get for this kind of issue. But in case of Hajj, right, because Hajj is it's very hard for you to get Hajj. It's your turn and you have to go within the semester. Usually, we also don't let you have just a short break during the semester. For that entire semester, if you're going for Hajj, our advice is we want you to take the leave of absence for the entire semester, right? Because Hajj is quite a long time. Okay. If you need to refer to all of these details, you can go to this link for the SAPER or Student Academic Performance Evaluation and Regulations undergraduate. We call it as SAPER, SAPER. Okay. And I think that's it. Welcome to KICT. Inshallah, hope to see you in October. So we are open to question and answers. All right, Sister Madam Narita, do you have anything to add?
Not at the moment.
Okay, since our Dean Prof Tengku is here, Prof, would you like to say a few words to our incoming students?
Okay, inshallah.
Okay, Prof.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, welcome to our community, to our family soon. Okay, I suppose you will be coming in October, right? So, if you decided to come over to KICT, I think you will be one of the most lucky students that choosing uh, computer science or ICT at this moment of time. Because many students want to do computing nowadays because of the era of AI, and every walk of life, every business venture, they need to apply computing. So coming to KICT, not only that you need to learn computing only, or system design or system development only, but you are generally thinking about how to solve problems. Okay, logical thinking. Okay, about security, about how to uh, improve, optimize, okay, production, decision making, and how to generate more money, inshallah. Okay, so you aspire to be entrepreneur and making a lot of money, come to ICT. So this is a place that proven that those students graduate of ICT, they made million, if not billion. Yeah, you can start your own, what call it, tell me what they call it? Uh, the name
Startup,
for
Prof.
the $1 billion company, unicorn.
Yes, Silicon.
Yeah, you can start your own unicorn. Yeah, you work for yourself, and also you help others. Yeah, give them employment. Okay, so you might one day employ few thousand people in your company. Yeah, that is what we're looking for. Yeah, so remember, not only learning about computing, but you are learning about thinking, how to think, how to improve things, how to optimize things, how to solve problems, and how to be an entrepreneur and generate money, and for your family and for the country. So you will be the next Elon Musk. Okay, you will be the next Bill Gates. Yeah, next Zuckerberg or Sam Altman. Okay, yeah, we are waiting, yeah, for those kind of people coming out from KICT, inshallah. Thank you. So make sure you come in October.
Inshallah, thank you so much, Prof.
Yeah.
Actually, I just want to share what Prof. Tengku say is true because in the last IM Takrim, our program, Bachelor in Computer Science, won the award for the highest income of graduates. So it's
Yeah,
true that you can make money, inshallah.
yeah. And also some of our students, even at
Yeah,
CFS, yeah,
yeah.
foundation study, already have their own company.
Startup,
Yeah?
Prof. Yeah,
Now that student in the final year, now he has his own business, and not only one, maybe a few, already have their own company. Okay. Come
Alhamdulillah.
over, we can work together how to form a company and make you just like Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, but don't drop out in the between of your studies.
Betul, Prof. Luckily, Mark Zuckerberg didn't drop out. He finished his Harvard degree, so it's okay.
Eh?
Only Bill Gates drop out.
During, I thought Mark Zuckerberg dropped out also.
Yeah,
Steve Jobs, yeah, those
yeah,
people, yeah,
drop
they
out.
drop out from study, yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much, Prof. Tengku. So
Okay,
inshallah,
thank you, Dr. Amir. Yeah.
we open for questions. Any questions from anyone here or any questions in the chat? Let me see. Chat. Okay, so looks like no question from the chat. Any questions? So, all right, so question from Amar Rafi'i. In the field of computer security job, which one better? Security in digital systems or cyber security? Okay, there's no better or worse actually. It depends. If you go to cybersecurity field, one side is people who need to take care of procedures, of policies and so on. So you also need that. Okay. So if you take cybersecurity from BIT, this is what they concentrate on, right? Because we know that there's a famous saying, even the best cybersecurity system in the world, the weakest link is the people factor. So you need to have the person who look at the people factor of things, means have coming up with policies, guidelines, disaster recovery. How do you actually make sure that everybody follows your cybersecurity policies? So all of those, you get it from cybersecurity in BIT. If you come to BCS, usually you look at the cybersecurity that doesn't meet people. You are inside a room, right? For example, a security operations center, and you're looking at the various dashboards to see whether there's a cyber attack coming in, right? You profile what kind of worms or viruses or attacks that come in to try to penetrate your organization. Okay. So it depends, right? Of course, that means also that if you come to the security in digital systems, it is a bit more difficult. It involves more mathematics. I think if you want to ask Prof. Tengku, that's why if you take computer science, mathematics is very important. Okay, it involves more on the algorithm side of things, right? Which is the backward facing, and then in the cybersecurity, it actually is the forward facing side of things. Both are equally important. Okay, thank you. Let's see, what is the other question? The study plan for both. Yes, I will ask Madam Narita to share it with you. Madam Narita, can you share with the CFS and they can share with the students?
Okay.
All right.
Now,
Now or later, I think
later,
they can pass to the students. Okay, another question. We can mix and match field elective. So can I mix and match? Yes, you can mix and match. Like I mentioned. If let's say, but do you want a concentration in one of this? Because if you want the concentration, you need to take at least 4 of the core courses from that specialization. All right. So if you want artificial intelligence to appear in your transcript, you need to take the 4 core courses, and the other 2 courses, your other 2 field elective courses, because you need to take a total of 6. The other 2 field elective courses you can take from digital security or from data science or any other specialization. Okay, I hope that clears. If you take, yes, if you take specific field elective, you can take other field elective core subjects as well. But our system will count the first 4 that you have. So let's say if you already accumulated the core elective for AI, then your transcript will show AI. The other core elective that you take from other specialization, they will just become a normal field elective, not part of your, doesn't show as your concentration. Okay. All right, Amelia Husna, if I choose concentration in cybersecurity, must my industrial attachment be strictly in security firm? No, it can be in any general role within the large corporation. Yes, you can go to any departments, right? The concentration is for you when you finish, right? What is the career path you want to take? But the industrial attachment, if you can get one in cybersecurity, very good, because that will strengthen your degree. So when you go out, you say, okay, my concentration is cybersecurity. And when I did my industrial attachment, I did it with Cybersecurity Malaysia, for example, CSM, our in Cyberjaya. So then it will be better for your resume or your CV. Is everyone in FCS eligible to join KICT? Yes, because FCS only goes to KICT. Anybody from CFS here can confirm?
Dr. Ami, sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
by principle, everybody from FCS are either BIT or BCS.
Yes, so they go to KICT. Just asking whether can go to KICT. Okay. So if I choose a concentration in AI, what kind of job scope will I have? Okay, so AI many things now. We have we call it the AI stack, right? So you do for programming or for coding, you have full stack engineer. Now we have AI stack engineer. Okay. Or if let's say you want to work for an AI company, they have AI ops. I think you can Google. Last time used to be a big thing they call DevOps. So most developers they have DevOps, which means they can start with getting the concepts of what they're going to create, one they're going to develop as a program, and then they do the programming, and then they can deploy. So AI ops is the same. You take a case study of AI, then you think about how you can implement the AI in the organization, and you can deploy the AI. So this is a new job scope we call as AI ops, right? Okay, so here, is it true that CS is more theoretical and IT is more practical? It depends, because practical means if you want to go inside organization and take care of the IT department, then you should take BIT, because not many of the things you learn in CS are going to be applied there. If you want to go to work for firms like an AI firm, you want to work for OpenAI, then the concepts that you learn in CS is what you apply to your organization. Or if you want to go work for Google, right? So Google is not just an infrastructure company, it is also a research company. It does a lot of new products based on research, right? So then CS is more suitable for you. But if you want to go out and become IT system admin, or you want to become IT manager later on, you want to become the chief digital officer of a company, then you should go to PIT, right? Both are equally important. If we don't have a chief digital officer, how are people going to run their other things, right? Algorithms or do any research? Fahim, do we get to choose our bachelor after the first semester? No, actually, you choose it in CFS, all right? And then we will get the list and we will filter out who is qualified to go to BCS and who is qualified to go to BIT. Okay? Usually, if your first choice is BCS and there is still spaces in BCS, because we have to limit how many students go into each of the program. We cannot have one program having too many students compared to the other, right? So if you qualify and your first choice is BCS, then you will go to BCS. If your first choice is BIT, you will always go to BIT. Okay. But after the first semester, if you think you have a change of mind and okay, BIT is not for you, you want to go to BCS, that's why I mentioned earlier. You need to get B in elements of programming or Java, and you need to get B in discrete structures or discrete math. Okay, then only you can apply to go to CS. But even then, we have to look at other factors, whether CS still have a place, or if computer science is already full and all that. But you can apply, and we will discuss that later. Okay. All right. So yeah, just did that. Auni, requirements to enter BCS and BIT. All right, based on CGPA or grades, yes, based on CGPA. Okay. Usually we have a cutoff point. So once we get the list from CFS, we have a cutoff point. The head of departments will discuss it's not always the same every semester. So we will see the performance of the students. Usually the highest CGPAs will be considered first to go to BCS, right? So as I mentioned earlier, it's a bit more difficult. Okay, so my friend wants to know, does the kuliah provide vetted list of industry partners where students are regularly placed? Yes. So we have, actually, when you want to go for industry attachment, we have a dashboard. So we have a list of companies that you can apply to, and our IA coordinators will work with you to contact with the company, right? Not letting you find your own placement by yourself entirely. So the IA coordinator will work with you. When those companies are full, then we will try to look for more companies and we will share with the students as we move along and get those information. All right, so Masao, is it Masao or Masao? I don't know. Okay, Masao, we won't force you, all right? So the question here is, if we are too good in our foundation CGPA or GPA and we want to enter BIT, is there a chance we are forced to BCS? So if you have a good CGPA, you still want to go to BIT, I really encourage you to do that. just make sure your first choice is BIT. Then you will go to BIT. Okay, I hope that make it more clear. Game development, you can go to BIT because BCS, we don't have any game courses there. That's for you, Corey. Others? You can also unmute your mic and ask. Okay, any other questions? I hope I answer everything clearly. 170 of you today, Alhamdulillah, although we are all fasting. Is there a scholarship opportunity for undergrad? This one, if Dr. Khairul Azmi was here, we can ask him because this is usually under the Student Development and Community Engagement Office. But maybe Sister Narita have any information on this one, Madam Narita?
Sorry, may I clarify what sort of scholarship you're looking for? Because for your information, in IIUM, there's only like endowment for student, but our trend is student apply for like Bank Rakyat, JPA, all sort of that from the government side. In the university, we don't really have a scholarship. Maybe bantuan for student who having difficulty.
Academic excellence. So I think we don't have any university side. Okay, Hanan, is multimedia animation more to BIT or BCS? Multimedia animation more to BIT. In BCS, we don't have any multimedia or animation courses. Any others? So it doesn't mean that if you get, just to clarify that Masao asked a good question. If let's say your CGPA is really good, 3.99, and you still want to go to BIT, just make sure your first choice is BIT. Okay? Okay, so usually out of 200, we try to balance, all right? 60% will go to BIT, 40% will go to BCS. Okay, sometimes it may be 50-50. It depends on the capacity that the department is able to take in that semester, but it's around that figure, right? So you can consider that if we have 200 students now, 100 may go to BCS, 100 may go to BIT. Okay, so just now mentioned to enter BCS, you will look for SPM results. AdMaths. Okay, so AdMaths, you need to get, I think to get into CFS, our requirements was already a credit, right? So we just follow the CFS requirements. However, I understand that some of you that enter CFS, you don't have AdMaths for SPM. Is that correct? Because it's either or, it's either AdMaths or another science subject. So some of you may not have AdMaths, so we have to look at that. Does free elective program that have programming might contain the same thing we learn in our kuliah, or wouldn't that be easier for us? So you saw programmers for engineers, right? Programming for engineering. So the language is different. That's all. It's still programming. For me, if you ask my personal opinion, programming is all the same. The languages are different, but you learn one programming language, you can actually do programming in other languages as well. So no problem. So those free elective you saw there, programming for engineers, and some of the others. Sorry, I'm just getting my charger because my battery is running out. Okay. They are actually teaching programming in another language. Okay, so if you want to learn new language, then you can do that. You can take it from other kuliah. For example, in KICT, we teach you Java for elements of programming and object-oriented programming. And then if you go into intelligent systems, usually I will actually teach, because I'm teaching intelligent systems, we will teach you Python, okay? And then if you learn mobile, they will teach you Flutter, all right? And in some in the cross-platform, they will teach you React. So many programming language depending on the course that you take. So we don't have a course that say, okay, this is C++ or this is React Native course. Okay. So I think the programming for engineers, they are teaching C, which is similar to what you learn in CFS, or C++ that you learn in CFS. Next question. Okay, looks like no other questions. Alhamdulillah. So I hope that to see you in October in KICT, and we wish you all the best and good luck for your exams. Hopefully, all of you will make it. So right now, you can start to think about whether I am a BCS kind of person or a BIT kind of person. then you can choose wisely, right? But if you are planning to go to BCS, then your CGPA must be very, very good. Okay. If you're planning to go to BIT, it doesn't mean that if your CGPA is good, we will force you to go to BCS. Don't worry about that. Because for us, the student choice is the most important priority. Okay, because we want you to be happy. Right? Thank you. All right. Madam Narita, anything for you to add before we end our briefing today?
Thank you all of you for attending. Hope to see you in our coming semester.
All right. Thank you, Madam. Prof. Tengku?
Yeah, we are waiting for you, and we were welcome to you, and we are happy that you join us in October. So most welcome.
Thank you, Prof. Tengku, our Dean. All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending today. Thank you to Prof. Tengku, the Dean of KICT, Madam Narita. So inshallah, see you in October. And for now, we bid you goodbye. So let's end our session with Tasbih Kafarah and Suratul As. Alhamdulillah, thank you so much and selamat berpuasa. See you in October insyaAllah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. So Madam Shima was here. I didn't see you, Madam. Sorry. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.